bitch.
It's weird. Hello, I'm O Speaks. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, share. Today is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to talk about relationships, and it's not fully outside of the realm of what I normally do. I normally do politics, and a lot of the issues that I see in relationships are due to lack of men or a lack of men allowing to be men in relationships if the man's there. And obviously you have fatherless homes and stuff like that. I was going through, I have a crazy timeline on Twitter and on IG. It's so diverse with nonsense and chaos. I started watching some toxic relationship reels, and then you know how you swipe up and it just keeps going and going and going. So what I ended up doing was just recording a bunch of them, and I wanted to react to some of them because I think I have a unique insight on a lot of this stuff. I see a grift out there, which I'm sure everyone's noticed. I don't know. I don't dwell over in the manosphere much or red pilling or anything like that. I stay away from all of that stuff because I don't like being talked down to, and sometimes that's what it feels like. Now, don't get me wrong. I loved watching Kevin Samuels, and that's what he did. But I think he was unique in a way where even though he didn't have a wife, he was able to give advice based on his failures and based on his observations. And I don't mind that. How you doing, Miss Highly Favored, Miss Phoenix? How you doing, Miss Arabia? Thank you for stopping by. Mel Dub, thank you, sir. when I when I watch a lot of these videos, they seem more geared toward women, and I just want to give my opinions on some of these videos because a lot of this stuff is wild, and some of it's so toxic. I didn't even want to put it on. I saw one where there was this poor girl. I don't know what was going through her mind. She was on top of this dude's car. She wouldn't move her arm. He slams the door on her arm and then starts driving off with it. I'm like, geez, that's like, how does it get to that point? How you doing, Tizzle? How you doing, Sheriff? I'm like, how does it get to this point? What are we doing here? And I know a lot of it is self-esteem, but again, I wanna play these videos, and I want to go over and just give my opinion on a lot of these things because a lot of these are just silly, and can be resolved just by leaving. And I don't know. Maybe some of you guys can help me figure out why people stay in these situations. I do have some videos that talk about that, but again, I just made a little compilation of videos and I wanted to go over them. A lot of this has to do with men not being there, and that's it. So I did share some of my links. I shared, if you're watching on Rumble, I shared my YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, I shared my Rumble. I think I put Cash App in there also, and I also put the StreamYard link. It is pinned if anyone wants to come up and talk about these once we start watching them, because it does get crazy. Actually, it's going to start out really crazy. And let's go. Let's start these out.
You spitting?
Bitch.
Get my daughter.
I got my daughter,
All right.
bitch. I got my daughter, bitch.
All right, go.
The fuck? Don't go in my motherfucking car
Why
no
you
more.
still here?
You heard what the fuck I
Why
said?
you still here?
You heard what the fuck
Why
I
you
said?
gonna hit me?
Bitch.
Go ahead. Do what you
Don't go
gonna
in
do.
my motherfucking
All
car
right,
no more,
go
bitch.
ahead and leave.
The fuck?
Go ahead and
What
leave.
the fuck is wrong with you?
And I got you on camera
Bitch, I
spitting.
don't give a
That's
fuck
assault.
what you got, bitch.
That's assault.
I don't give a fuck
All right,
what you
don't
got.
come back over here.
Bitch,
Go.
you'll be in jail soon.
Okay, go ahead,
with
go.
your bitch ass.
Okay, go ahead and go.
Bitch.
You mad because I don't want your fat ass.
Bitch, I don't give a fuck,
Okay,
bitch. You
leave.
just wanted to fuck me
Leave.
the other day.
I don't know if you guys were, if it started chopping up for you like it was for me. I gotta check my internet. Let me see. Let me pull this down real quick. Let me see. Let me pull this down real quick. But as you can see, exactly, Sheriff. I'm looking like neither of these people are even thinking about the baby that's there. It's a little baby girl. She can't be more than 2, 3 years old. She's barely walking. Mom has to hold her up. And you're spitting and you're doing all like. And in this one, Now it's easy to say, well, the lady's crazy, right? But he's egging her on, and I don't understand what he's getting out of that, other than to be able to say that, I got it on tape, so I can, figure out what I can do in court or something like that when it comes to custody. But to me, is it really worth that? Like, yes, she committed assault. Sorry, I'm cleaning up some stuff so that hopefully it runs smoother when I play it. I don't understand why he's egging her on. You know how she is. Clearly, you know how she is. Clearly, you're provoking her. Clearly, she's disgusting. But if you're doing it in front of the children, I think both of you guys need to be considered when it comes to not getting custody. And obviously, you don't want to take kids out of the home, but something's wrong with these people. I don't understand this. Sorry, I'm still trying to force quit some stuff that is open. There it is. There you are. Yeah, something was slowing down my computer, and there was a couple of applications running that I didn't want open. All right, cool. So let's pull it back up. I'm gonna watch this again. It's so ridiculous that adults behave like this, but I'm gonna pull it back up now. And yeah, man, this is the most important thing. Like, how old are you guys? She looks to be at least 30. And you don't know that that's not good for your baby girl? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And it's on camera, and he's recording it thinking that he's doing something good. What are you getting out of that, man? You're not helping that kid. Because if you get the kid, every time she comes over, you guys are going to have this kind of interaction because you don't know how to stop. And at some point, somebody has to say, okay, I need to stop. She's spitting a man's face. Disgusting. That's not a woman. But you picked her. And even if it was for one night, dude, you picked her. You laid down with her. You now have a child with her. You have to deal with it. That's your decision you made. And I don't like when people just blame the other side. Like, it's the same if it was a woman being treated that way. It's the same thing. You open your legs. We have to start talking about personal responsibility. Because when I see stuff like this, I'm like, how did we get here?
You spitting?
Bitch.
Get my daughter.
She's crying already.
All right.
I got my daughter, bitch.
All right, go.
The fuck? Don't go in my motherfucking car
Why
no
you
more.
still here?
You heard what the fuck I
Why you still
said?
here?
You heard what the fuck
Why
I
you
said?
gonna hit me?
Bitch.
Go ahead. Do what you
Don't go
gotta
in
do.
my motherfucking car
All
no
right,
more,
go
bitch.
ahead and leave.
The fuck?
Go ahead and leave.
Why is he following her? Why is he asking her if you're going to hit me? What are you doing? How do you think that's good for the baby who's already crying? Like, this is.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
And I got you on camera
I
spitting.
don't give a
That's
fuck
assault.
what you got, bitch.
That's assault.
I don't give a fuck
All right,
what you
don't
got.
come back over here.
Bitch,
Go.
you'll be in jail soon.
Okay, go ahead,
with
go.
your bitch ass.
Okay, go.
Why do you have to be there telling her to go ahead, go? She's already leaving. Get in the house and close the door. What do you think is going to happen as you tell this crazy woman, because she's definitely crazy. But when I think of toxic relationships, it takes two. You can't just say she's crazy because he's there. Again, even if it was one time, you picked her. That's on you. And now you have a new human being that should be the priority, and you two are still acting like crazy people. Why is he following her? What could possibly come out of this altercation other than what came out of the altercation?
Go ahead and go. You mad because I don't want your fat ass.
Bitch, I don't give a fuck,
Okay,
bitch. You
leave.
just wanted to fuck me the other day. Bitch.
So that was the first one I saw, and like I said, I just started scrolling through like, what are we doing here? Some of these are going to have advice. Some of it's good advice. Some of it should be common sense. But I know there are people out there who are toxic. And then I think other people throw the word toxic around just to cover up for their mistakes. And again, that's the point of this live. This next one, well, I'll just play it. And I'm going to just play them through and then maybe go back and then talk about them because some of these are, I don't understand.
You actually want a serious problem right now?
You're gonna pour that over me?
No one's trying to pour anything over you.
Okay, put that down then.
Are you gonna drive me
No,
home
because
or
you're
not?
disrespecting me, so you can get out of my car and...
Oh my god! You're so soaking wet and disgusting, like a fucking rat. That's what you deserve. Look at you, you're such a disgusting rat.
So again, I can't point the blame at her for being crazy because you let her in your car. Why would you ask her if she's going to pour it on you? Because it sounded like she wasn't even planning on it. You gave her the idea. These are the type of things that I'm seeing on my timeline. Like, there's no way this is real. Some of these have to be skits, but in a skit, you'd have to be a really good actor. First of all, to come up with the things that they're doing. Second of all, to take somebody's spit in the face, because both of them ladies spitting in dudes, and I'm like, you picked her. Deal with it. Leave her for real. Don't let her back in your car so that something like that can happen. Don't egg her on to get that whatever you're getting out of that interaction. Because all you ended up getting is Perrier poured all over your car and on you in your own car. And it sounded like she was hitting him in the head with the bottle. How does it get to this point? How does it get so bad that you're doing this? Why did she think you were taking her somewhere? Why did you let her in your car? If you knew that clearly that's not the first time she did something crazy because he said it. Oh, what are you going to pour the water on me? Get out of my car. You're being disrespectful. I'm pretty sure she was disrespectful before she got in your car. So, I mean, if anyone's ever been in situations like this, I would love to hear your insight. The link is pinned. But to me, I hold everyone accountable. Even when I see stuff in my family that I don't like, we need to talk about you. Don't start telling me about this person, that person, the other person. We need to talk about you and why you're in this situation. Because you're a grown man in these two situations, and you have women spitting at you. You know how much they have to detest you to spit in your face? You know how much you guys have had to go through to where she thought it was okay to spit in your face and knew nothing was going to happen. Not that I'm saying you hit her or anything like that, but you're in a situation where she thinks that's okay. That means you've allowed her to do other things that made her think it was okay to escalate it this far. I've been married for a very long time. There is absolutely no way anything like this can happen in my relationship. It won't happen. It can't happen. We both have boundaries that we set very, very, very early on. There's some things that are just not tolerable, is not the right word. It's not even feasible. I'm never going to call my wife out her name. It's just not going to happen. I will leave before it gets to that point. And you have to know when you're inflaming a situation, and you have to know when to stop. And sometimes you have to know when to just not say anything. And that goes both ways. I know there are certain situations, my wife's up here at level 8. There's no reason for me to go up to level 8. And the vice versa is the exact same thing. If I'm starting to get frustrated or irritated or annoyed, what's going on, John? She knows there's no reason to match that energy because one of us has to be the same person. Somebody's got to be sane in this situation. Otherwise, we're going to end up divorced like the next day. She says that all the time. She tells people that all the time. I tell people that all the time. Like, yeah, there's no way I can't tolerate this. I can't accept this. It's not going to happen. And again, this is the kind of thing. Well, I've always talked about communication. People think that just means talking. No, planning, obviously talking, but laying the ground rules on, okay, if I go here, maybe it's hear me out and then we can talk about it. Or if I say I can't do this right now, give me space. Like there's a lot of things that everyone's different. Everyone communicates differently. You have to know who you're going to be with and have these conversations very, very, very early. Another thing I see, like I used to see a lot on Kevin Samuels, is he'll ask the same questions he always asks, and then he'll be like, "Well, where's your husband?" She'd be like, "Well, he left." How long were you together? 5 years. He's a cheater. It's like, all right. Just all of a sudden he cheated on you? You didn't, like, there was nothing, no indicators. And it's really interesting because they never talked about him being a cheater until they started feeling that the conversation was going bad and they were looking bad. Then it's easy to say, oh, well, he was a cheater or he beat me and all this other stuff. And it's like, okay, maybe that's true. You probably should have led with that. But I want you guys to see this one. You have the guy in pink and a lady with the backpack and the skirt. Just look at the behavior.
Why does
And my wife makes fun of me because I used to leave women for the smallest things. I was one of those people who, if there was a red flag at all, I'm gone. I'm not going to do this. There is no way you're going to tell me that that's the first time she's acted like that. And he's just standing around waiting. Da-di-da-di-da. She'll get over it. Oh yeah, you're going to die laughing. It's funny. It is funny. It's crazy. These people are crazy. And it's like, I don't blame her. I really don't. I blame the guy who's standing there waiting for her to finish so they can go wherever they're supposed to go. If you're a man, how do you find yourself in that position? I don't know how you find yourself in that position. I used to leave. It sounds horrible, but I'm telling you, if there's any red flags, I was gone. And shit, my wife tells me to this day, you would just leave for anything. Like, no, there were signs that something else can happen, and I don't even want to take that chance. Or at the time, I didn't want to even take that chance. And she was like, well, were there any of those things with me? And I said, yeah, there was. But the good would outweigh the bad. And some things are tolerable. So if you have somebody who will throw a temper tantrum like that, I can't do that. If you do or say things that are kind of annoying, that's a little bit different. And I just, yeah, I had a, crap, we're online. I don't want to give a specific example. I left a woman one time because we were young. I told her, that's too specific. All right. Sorry about that. I can't do, I don't want to down anybody, but I don't even know if she knows why I stopped talking to her. So I'm gonna leave that story alone because it's very specific. And if there's any chance somehow that she'll watch it, she'll be like, no, this dude didn't just tell my story on some random live stream. So I'm gonna strike that from the record, please. Let's listen to what this guy has to say, this rabbi.
some people stay in toxic relationships? The well-known answer is because they lack self-esteem, and if they thought better of themselves, then they would take a stand and they would move on from these toxic relationships. And there's truth to that, but I want to talk about another factor that keeps good people in toxic relationships, and that is that some of us have a knack for seeing the goodness in everybody, even in people whose behaviors are dysfunctional, even in people whose behaviors have been directed toward us in a hurtful way. We see that spark of goodness in them and we won't give up on it. But here's the thing, at some point in your healing journey, you realize that just because you see the potential in someone doesn't mean that you have to stay in their life. It can mean that you can continue to see their good, but from a distance, from afar, and wish them well and wish them nothing but God's love, but from your own place.
Do you guys agree with that? I mean, it sounds good. I agree with a lot of what he's saying, but I agree with most of what he's saying. I don't see why people would, even if you see the good in someone, why you wouldn't jump straight to, I'll see you later. I can't be the one to deal with this. I got too much going on myself. I'm not about to take on this project. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, women think more like that than most men do. Women like to see potential. And I've seen women date complete losers because they see potential in him and they think that they may be able to help him get there. Maybe, I don't know. I can't speak for women. I just know what I see and what I've watched and what I've observed in my life, especially before I got married, where I'd see women with dudes and I'm like, how does this work? And he'll be a complete loser and they're paying for stuff because they think at some point he's going to just magically turn his life around while she's enabling him, by the way. And all of a sudden he's just going to get responsible. And yeah, John, it seems like, and again, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like they think they can fix these dudes. Or they just, he does other things that they enjoy, or he looks a certain way and they don't want to lose that because he's got some of the attributes that they like, but then he's a complete loser. And I don't know what they think they can get out of that. But I'm going to play what he said again because it is, I hear the truth. I do agree with a lot of this. What I don't understand is why people think that they need to stay or feel compelled to
stay in toxic relationships. The well-known answer is because they lack self-esteem, and if they thought better of themselves, then they would take a stand and they would move on from these toxic relationships. And there's truth to that, but I want to talk about another factor that keeps good people in toxic relationships, and that is that some of us have a knack for seeing the goodness in everybody, even in people whose behaviors are dysfunctional, even in people whose behaviors have been directed toward us in a hurtful way. We see that spark of goodness in them and we won't give up on it. But here's the thing, at some point in your healing journey, you realize that just because you see the potential in someone doesn't mean that you have to stay in their life. It can mean that you can continue to see their good, but from a distance, from afar, and wish them well and wish them nothing but God's love, but from your own place.
Have any of you guys ever done that? Stayed with somebody because you see the good in them, even though they're not meeting your standards? How you doing, Mr. Blue? I'd just be gone. I see the potential and I'm like, okay, well, and I agree with the end of what he said, where he's like, do it from distance. That's always been me. I'll observe from distance. I wish you well. And maybe we can talk in a year or two when you're normal, if that ever comes. But I've never stuck around when I saw something bad. And I can't relate to it. So I'm watching all these videos like, what is this? This one is just funny because, well, let me play this first. You'd be ghost. I used to ghost. I was horrible. Horrible. And I can look back and say there were some things that were really minor that I left over, but I ended up with what I'm supposed to have.
So my last relationship, my ex refused to call me beautiful. Like, refused. He was like, it's contrived, I'm not doing that. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go on one date with a guy. He shows up with a bouquet of roses, and I'm gonna insert a photo of it so y'all don't think I'm lying. And he will not stop yapping about how beautiful I am. I never think I'm the most beautiful girl in the room that I'm in, but I felt that way with this guy, and that's how every girl should feel. So the grass is greener. Leave that toxic man, leave that toxic relationship, and let someone treat you how you should be treated. Mwah.
So do you guys think that the guy's toxic in that situation? And as soon as I saw that one, I'm like, he's just trying to get laid, lady. Like, you don't know, you can't see through that. Of course, like the new guy, it keeps calling her beautiful. He sees them things bouncing. No offense to anybody. I'm just telling you from a guy's perspective. He's just trying to get laid. He's no different than the guy you were with. I think she could have communicated with the first guy and explained why she needed to hear what she needed to hear. But John, thank you. Thank you. For me, it was so obvious why the guy was doing what he was doing. And this is something that I think a lot of women should hear me on right now, please. If you are single and you have men in your life like You still have your father, you have brothers, you have uncles. Let them help you vet these men. Because if that's all it takes for her to be head over heels and making videos and talking about, oh my God, this guy, he's so nice. He's calling me beautiful. Yeah, oh, I bet he is. Men can see through that guy. We just can't. And I've noticed, and I have 3 daughters and I have a lot of sisters. I've noticed, actually, my sisters had done, well, no. Most of my sisters have done really, really well with picking their men. But it seems like men can get through to a lot of women with words and not actions, and they end up in relationships that just aren't good. And I think they should allow the men in their lives, me, our father, and other men in their life to help pick the men. Please allow these guys to do what they're supposed to do. We see other men and we know exactly what they're up to within minutes. Within minutes. I've told this before. My daughter was dating a guy and I wouldn't even talk to him because I knew who he was before he probably knew who he was. I've seen it over and over and over and over. I really wouldn't even talk to him. Might say hi to him when she would come over, and I know that hurt her. I know that bothered her. But within 15 minutes of meeting who's now her husband, I was like, he's a good guy. And I know she's like, what the, like, how do you, like, I was with this other guy for a year, 2 years, and you wouldn't even talk to him. But this guy you just met, we just have a different radar when it comes to guys, and we know who we are. We know guys, and we have friends, and we have brothers, and we have uncles, and we know what guys do. We know how to pick out the ones who are for real, and we know how to pick out the ones who are just no good, or we can see through their lies. Oh. You guys, I know women have great intuition, but men know men. We deal with each other. We've been men our whole life. And we can see through a dude, like I said, within a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes max. And I can tell you exactly what type of guy this is. And I can tell you if he's no good. And who wants better for you, women, than your father, your brother, or whoever's closest to you? We don't want you dealing with a loser. We don't want you with a loser. We can just see through. I'm telling you, and John's, thank you, John. He's saying yes, 100%. We see through these guys immediately. How you doing, KTC? So if you guys let us help, it could save you so much. Not even heartache. Just, I know you guys have to think we are insane because we're that different. We are insane, but we understand each other. Just like you guys understand women. I remember having women say, oh, she's just whatever. And they just don't like another woman. I'm like, geez, you don't even know her. But you guys can see through each other because you're women. You've been a woman your whole life, or a girl. You know what I mean? It's like we're able to do that. Facts, now that in my we've seen it all. We've had these friends. We know these guys. So when you bring this other dude, it's new to you, but I've seen this dude. I've hooped with this dude. I played football with this guy. I went to school with this guy. I know this guy. Before he even knew who he was, I could tell you everything he's going to be. I think that if you guys let the men in your lives help you vet, it would save you guys more of the, because it looks like it really drives you guys crazy. Not in a literal sense, but it looks like you guys spend a lot of time thinking about dudes. We don't spend as much time thinking about you guys, not in that way. I'm just being real with you. So while you guys are racking your brain trying to figure stuff out, we're plotting. It sounds horrible. And I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just saying what dudes are doing. And it does start changing around 30. 30 is when guys are like, okay, I may need to start settling down. 40 for sure. But in your 30s is when you start thinking about it. And a dude in his 20s, don't waste your time. And I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying they're not ready for what you guys are looking for. Mostly. it's different now. I get it. I understand that. We're in a completely different bracket. But this one here, this video here is going to be about communication. And this one I co-sign almost 100%.
Even the most loving couples won't survive if they use these two toxic fight styles. Have you ever really thought about what actually keeps a relationship alive for the long run? You might think it's someone who's generous, spends time with you, keeps the house in order, or stays loyal. But the truth is, if they don't have these two psychological traits, all those so-called good qualities could easily be given to someone else. Most breakups don't happen because someone fell out of love. They happen because two people couldn't keep going together. Psychology shows that lifelong couples share two key abilities. The first is conflict management. In intimate relationships, arguments are inevitable. The more you love, the more you clash. But what matters isn't whether you fight, it's how you fight. The first toxic pattern is escalating fights. Like two torches thrown into gasoline, each word adds fuel. Emotions spiral, and both sides end up saying things that scar. The second is withdrawal fights. One person desperately wants to talk, while the other goes emotionally numb. The silent one withdraws and the speaker explodes from being shut out. This mismatch leads to doubt, emotional pain, and emotional isolation.
Now, I'm going to stop there because that's what I was talking about earlier. My wife knows when I'm heading towards 10, there's no reason to do the same. She'll now actually probably laugh at me. Not in my face to make me even more mad, but she's able to realize, okay, I know what situation we're in. There's no reason to escalate this. And I do the same with her. And I'll if I can recognize it fast enough, I'll just stop and allow her to get her part out, and then we can have a conversation, or we can come back later, whatever. But if you have somebody who's gonna ramp it up, and then you ramp it up, and then they ramp it up, you're now in a really volatile situation. And I think that's where you see people going crazy, like fighting and all that nonsense. You can't have two people who are willing to do that. Somebody has to catch what's going on in the moment. It's not an easy thing to do. But when you love someone, you have to recognize this. One of you has to. And if you're mad but not really mad, you should be the one to say, all right, let me calm down. Don't let what they're saying take you up a notch. And the same thing with if you're confused, don't respond defensively and say, well, what are you talking about? I did this. As soon as you do that, you're creating a more combustible situation than you have to, because that other person just wants to get their piece out. And if you're in love, especially married, you got to learn how to do that. That conflict management is very important to exactly what he says. And then if somebody wants to walk away, let them go. That is their way of saying, hey, I need to figure out what's happening and we can come back and talk about this, but I'm about to get defensive. I don't want to get defensive. I don't want to argue. Let them go. Because if the other person starts following him or her, you're now raising the bar, the argument bar. And then next time this is going to happen. It's going to happen again because you allowed it to happen. So what you got to do is, whoever it is, half the time it's going to be the dude, half the time it's going to be the woman. Somebody's got to recognize, all right, this is not. How I've always looked at it is, am I willing to get a divorce over this conversation? If the answer is yes, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to be like a pit bull. Most of the time, actually, it's very, very, very rarely that serious, unless there's a real violation. And if there's a real violation, you probably haven't set a boundary somewhere. And that has to happen at the very, 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 very beginning. This is not tolerable. This is not tolerable. This, okay, if this happens, and you have to give that to the other person too. So if I'm, dating KTC and I tell her, hey, listen, if I ever get like this, please let me do whatever. And then you can respond however you want. That will work, because now the other person knows how to handle you when you get that way. What's going on? I have 2 clips. So I think people need to really need to think about their situations. They really need to think about their situations, and early on, you got to set them boundaries. You just have to. There's no way you can move forward, because at some point Somebody's going to cross a boundary that they don't know they're crossing, and now you have a real argument. And that's one of the things that most people break up over. Well, he did this and he did that, and it's like, no, you didn't set the boundary that not allowed the person. You invited it. And in some fights, you should think about, while you guys are resolving it, while you're having a conversation, you should think about what could have made it worse and express that. You have to. There's really no choice. If you want to be in it for the long haul, you really need to have these conversations, because if you don't, you're in trouble. You're in real trouble. Boundaries they're necessary. They're mandatory, because that's where almost every relationship ends that ends.
But there's a third way, the one great partners use. When a conflict arises, they don't jump to blame. They pause, reflect. They realize most hurtful things said in fights come from unmet needs, not malice. They cool down, then ask, what was my partner trying to express? Attention, reassurance, security? They sit down and talk, calmly, deeply.
And I don't know why it's chopping up on my end. I don't know if it's chopping like that on your end. But again, what he was just saying is catching yourself, calming down, having a conversation, name calling. That should be established as soon as you guys think you're going to be, if there's any potential, you need to establish, I do not tolerate this kind of disrespect. I just can't. And it's not starting an argument way back then in the beginning of your relationship. It's just letting them know, I can't. Women, you have to understand men's egos. Name calling should be off limits, but name calling in front of other people, ooh, you talk about a problem. You embarrass a man in front of other people, no matter who the people are. It's going to be 10 times worse. The same name, you could call them in private, but I recommend, obviously, you don't call them names. My wife has never and will never have me calling her any kind of names. It's just not going to happen. It can't happen, because what it'll do then is graduate. And the next time, you're going to say something else. The next time, oh, well, I got away with it this time. And it's not what we're thinking. We just know we've gotten away with it. And it's going to increase. It's just going to.
This builds trust and closeness. Conflict becomes connection. The second vital trait is emotional regulation. Emotions are natural, but controlling them is a skill. Two people can react completely differently to the same event based on their inner beliefs. One partner might snap, "This is too salty," while another says, "Babe, next time a little less salt and it'll be perfect." One accuses, one considers. This difference changes everything. Emotions are contagious. One outburst can ruin an entire evening. Do it often enough, and love becomes emotional exhaustion. If you constantly feel tired in your relationship, it's not always love that's broken. It's emotional habits that are. The couples who make it aren't the ones who never argue. They're the ones who keep talking through the storms, who learn how to stay. As the saying goes, we don't get married to be miserable forever. Follow for more on how to argue better, connect deeper, and become someone worth loving and worth staying with.
Sad. And my wife and I used to actually teach people and help people work these things out. And like I said, all we would talk about is communication, but you'd be surprised how far communication goes, because it's not just verbal. You got to see when somebody's done and they don't want to keep going. So if you keep going and you're badgering the witness and you don't see the physical cues that, hey, I'm done, you can end a relationship just from your mouth. And they can be like, in their mind, they're thinking, still not stopping, never again, never again. And you may never see that person again. You be in a relationship for 2 years and have somebody ghost you, and you tell all your friends, oh, she left that broad, blah, 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 she was fighting. No, it was your mouth. And it probably happened one too many times. It wasn't going to happen again. Just wasn't going to happen again. And we would teach 10, 15, 20, got up to 30 people at a time, teaching them how to communicate. Real simple stuff. It sounds simple, but in execution and in the moment, it's not easy when you're in a fight, because sometimes things to you are really important, and then some things aren't, but they are to the other person. You dismiss that, It's disrespectful, whether you see it that way or not. So if your wife is saying, "Hey, I need you to do this," and you dismiss it, nah, that's not a big deal. That's a mistake. Listen, understand, because there's no way you guys are going to work if you dismiss the other person, what the other person finds to be important. Discernment, or what? Let's say discreet. Decrement. I don't know what that word is. Gotta have interpersonal skills for sure. Now this guy. So I'm also real cautious of people who say all the right things. I think I said this at the beginning. Kevin Samuel said all the right things, but then he wasn't with a woman. He wasn't married. I've seen a lot of women do the same thing, but then I see this new thing. There's these dudes who get online and say all this stuff for the woman. They're just trying to get laid. Either they're trying to sell something or they're just trying to get laid. Because a lot of the stuff they're saying, like this guy, everything he's about to say is geared toward women. What about the dudes? What about the man in this situation? Listen to this dude. Oh, he said it, messed it all up. Autocorrect will do that. Listen, so I want you to listen to this guy. Everything he says sounds good. It sounds correct.
Truth is, people don't change until they have to, and by then, it's oftentimes too late. And the same people who call you too needy and dismiss and invalidate you because, well, your feelings aren't their problem, are going to be the very same people who are blindsided when you leave. And now all of a sudden, they're willing to do the work, right? Now all of a sudden, they didn't know you were so unhappy before. All of a sudden, they're sorry. Sorry for what, exactly? Sorry for the countless times I didn't feel safe to express a feeling without...
See, men don't talk like this. What do you mean feel safe? Earlier, he just said the word validated. I listen to these words and I'm like, what's this guy selling? I don't believe anything he's saying. Even though I agree with a lot of it, he's selling something, or he's just trying to get laid. He's saying all the right things that he knows women want to hear. And I guarantee you there's a lot of women who are like, yes, validate me, validate. We don't talk like this. I don't know what he's talking about. Or correction, I don't know why he's phrasing it the way he is, other than to get laid, or to sell books, or to get women to click on his channel. I guarantee you that's his demographic. Mm-hmm.
Being punished? Sorry for years of neglect? What exactly are you sorry for? Because I'm having trouble trusting those words since this is the first time I'm hearing them. You weren't sorry when I was begging you for the bare minimum. You weren't.
What man begs anyone for the bare minimum? He's speaking for women here. And then I got to ask, why is a man speaking for women? Why aren't you giving the man's perspective of this? Begging for bare minimum? I don't know. Maybe Mike Nice, maybe John have begged women for the bare minimum. I don't know what that is. I don't know what he's talking about. So when I see these, again, they sound good, but I'm looking like, why are you the person delivering this message? Go back. I don't play it, so I won't interrupt it. But a lot of these words, validate, begging, safety. Okay.
Staying with.
The sad truth is people don't change until they have to, and by then, it's oftentimes too late. And the same people who call you too needy and dismiss and invalidate you because, well, your feelings aren't their problem, are going to be the very same people who are blindsided when you leave. And now all of a sudden, they're willing to do the work, right? Now all of a sudden, they didn't know you were so unhappy before. All of a sudden, they're sorry. Sorry for what, exactly? Sorry for the countless times I didn't feel safe to express a feeling without being punished? Sorry for years of neglect? What exactly are you sorry for? Because I'm having trouble trusting those words since this is the first time I'm hearing them. You weren't sorry when I was begging you for the bare minimum. You weren't sorry when I was the only one bending over backwards to make this relationship work. And you weren't sorry when I had tears in my eyes. But now you can see in my eyes that something has changed.
He's not talking. This is not a man. Oh, sorry. I don't want to disrespect this dude. The words that he is saying are not coming from a man's perspective. They're just not. There's no way. How you doing, Miss Just J? Mike Nice, what's up, man? Sim Set, what's going on? We don't talk like this. I think I said hello to Phoenix earlier. We don't talk like tears in my eyes. All right. Just tell us the price of the book, dude, and on to the next video.
And you're sorry. Me too. I'm sorry, I didn't realize sooner how to stand up for myself and learn what I deserved in a relationship. I'm sorry I allowed you to treat me the way you did for so long. I'm sorry I believed words and not actions. And I'm sorry I abandoned my own needs and boundaries because I was so afraid of being abandoned. But I have good news. I'm not afraid anymore.
As a man,
What do you mean afraid? This is a grown man saying, I'm not afraid anymore. Women, if you hear a man talking like this, well, I can't say that because you might want a guy to talk like that to you. I don't even know what to say to the stuff he's talking about. The tears and all that. That's just weird. Everything he's saying may sound great. And if it does sound great to you guys, let me know. To me, I'm like, this dude's a fraud. No disrespect to the guy, but what he's saying is not coming from a man's perspective. It's just not. It doesn't even make sense. That's all women talk. And he's appeasing women. That's fine. That's cool. You got your little grift. But you guys you need to realize that that's not real. What he's saying is not real. He's saying what you want to hear.
Anymore.
as a man right now, it doesn't matter what you do, it's wrong. Like if I'm kind and soft to my kids, then I'm gonna raise a son who is not gonna be masculine. And if I'm hard on him and I scream, I'm creating trauma. There's no way for men in this world, seems like, to exist without offending someone. And it just seems like that's becoming a trend where now more men is be like, you know what, I ain't gonna say or do nothing. And then women be like, well, the men ain't menin. It's like, how do you want me to men when you're taking away my power to do anything? Had a conversation, this is a true conversation with a bunch of women who were single. And they were just like, Deval, do you think you as a husband should be able to control where Kadeen goes? And I was just like, I don't think I should control, but I would like to know where she's going because I'm responsible for protecting her. And they were just like, well, you don't have to know where she's going to protect her. And I said, wait a minute, it's my job to protect you and you don't feel like you should tell me what you're doing? And they said, no. You had a bunch of women who are not in relationships with the overwhelming loud voice of, I should not have to do this, but you still have to do this for me. They're just saying, I'm a woman, I have my opinion. And I'm like, there should be a conversation here. It shouldn't be your way is the only right way and I have to cower because I'm a man and say no.
The most dangerous.
So with him, I agree with almost everything he said, but I would like to know who he's talking about that's condemning these things outside of the media. It sounds like he's talking about what the women he knows speak like. But I do agree with most of what he's saying, but I don't understand why. It's like he's having an argument, but I would like to know who he's arguing with. These women that he's talking about who are
Anymore.
like,
as a man right now, it doesn't matter what you do, it's wrong. Like
wrong to who? Who says it's wrong? If you're talking about mainstream media, I would agree with that because they call everything toxic masculinity. But I'm really curious because he's very specific on some of these things.
If I'm kind and soft to my kids, then I'm gonna raise a son who is not gonna be masculine. And if I'm hard on him and I scream, I'm creating trauma. There's no way.
Who you like? It sounds like he's talking about his wife. Are these the things she said? Because I've never heard anyone say that the boy's gonna be too masculine. I've never heard anyone say that. What he's saying is not wrong. I just would be really interested to see who he's talking to.
For men in this world seems like to exist without offending someone. And it just seems like that's becoming a trend where now more men is be like, you know what, I ain't gonna say or do nothing. And then women be like,
nah, see, I don't know a man who would just say, okay, well, I'm not gonna do anything. No, we're just gonna either do what we're gonna do and then deal with the repercussions or not do it. But I don't see somebody not handling their business because somebody else is saying the things that he's saying. And it could be, again, this could be, maybe he's talking about society as a whole. And I could say, okay, yeah, I kind of agree with that. But then the man's not going to do anything for what? His kids and his relationship? If it's that easy for you to not be masculine, then there's a whole nother problem going on there.
well, the men ain't menin. It's like, how do you want me to men when you're taking away my power to do anything? Had a
Who's taking away your power? You see what I mean? So overall, what he's saying, I don't have a problem with. I have a problem with who he's talking about. Who's the pushback coming from? It has to be your woman. Because I've never had this happen to me. I've never had a woman tell me what I can and can't do. And if she does, she won't see me again. The very next day, she might try to call and I ain't answering. Like, so I'd be very curious to see who he's talking about specifically.
Conversation. This is a true conversation with a bunch of women who were single. And they were just like, Deval, do you think you as a husband should be able to control where Kadeen goes? And I was just like, I don't think I should control, but I would like to know where she's going because I'm responsible for protecting her. And they were just like, well, you don't have to know where she's going to protect her. And I said, wait a minute, it's my job to protect you and you don't feel like you should tell me what you're doing? And they said, no. You had a bunch of women who were not in relationships with the overwhelming loud voice of, I should not have to do this, but you still have to do this for me. They're just saying, I'm a woman, I have my opinion. And I'm like, there should be a conversation here. It shouldn't be your way is the only right way and I have to cower because I'm a man and say no.
I agree with most of that. I would say, like, we just share our location. All right, everybody, put it this way. If you're on my phone plan, you're going to share your location. I have a daughter in New York. She shares her location. I have two older daughters here in Houston. They share their location. Obviously, my 6-year-old doesn't have a phone, but I have a tracker on him. My wife shares her location. I share my location with all of them. If I'm paying $582 a month and you're on my phone line, you will share your location. And for me, it's not really about, because it's kind of hard to protect after the fact. Protecting is supposed to be before, right? So I don't fully agree with what he said as far as I'm supposed to be protecting you. But I need to be able to at least respond. Because I can't control where my daughter in New York is going, right? But I should be able to respond and figure out, okay, where was she last? And I should be able to look and see where she was last before that phone cut off or before she got on a plane, anything. So it's really weird when I hear people say, well, I'm supposed to be protecting. Well, if you're supposed to be protecting, the only way you can do that is if you're with her. And you're going to really be with everybody at all times? So that whole thing never really fully made sense, but I do understand why. I need to know where you're going. I'm sorry. I just need to know where you're going because I should at least be able to find you should something happen. Because if you don't call and it's 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 9, now it's noon, not the next day, how can I do anything? I just have to sit there and wait for what? Because you wanted to be what? I don't even understand the pushback against sharing. Well, I do for single people. Like, who are you? You're not gonna know where I'm at. But again, if you're on my phone line, I pay almost $600 a month just for the phones because everybody's on my phone. Everybody's on my phone. Exactly. Crash report. Now my wife does have this one weird app I refuse to get. It'll tell her how much gas you got in your car. I'm like, nah, that's you've gone too far. You've gone too far. But yeah, timings, everything you can see where the last person or the last place they were at. There's nothing wrong with, in my opinion. But again, if you're single, I get it. But that thing shows, I wish she was up here. It shows the, how much gas is in your car. It shows when it's too much. It's too much. I don't even want that on my phone. I don't even have TikTok because I know it tracks everything. Listen, and I told her this 100 times already. I share my location. You don't need to know where my gas levels are. And it is kind of funny because every now and then everyone will get a text and she'll update everybody on who needs to stop and get gas. But that's just, she's crazy. And it's funny. That is funny.
It's dangerous.
Oh, the other thing it does is it tells her what your phone battery is at. And I'm like, this is too much. I can't do this. I refuse to get whatever that app is. Because she'll say, we'll get a text like 1 a.m., the whole group, because we're all in a group. We have several groups, but there's one with my wife, my 3 daughters, and my 2 son-in-laws. And we'll just get a random text in the middle of the night. I won't say her name, one of my daughters, plug in your phone, charge your phone. It's like, huh? And then she'll send a picture that it shows the battery's at 1%. Part of it is like, how does your phone get to 1%? The other part is, why are you looking? But anyway, that's more to be goofy and funny. But you need that app. Yeah, it says the battery on your phone. I think it does the battery on your watch, and I know it does gas, and I think it even does speeding, because she's told one of my daughters, "You've been speeding a lot lately." I'm like, "Jeez," and it drives them crazy. But it's funny. We all laugh in the chat, but Yeah, that's too much. I don't need technology following me like that.
Thing a narcissist does to you isn't the gaslighting, the cheating, or the manipulation. It's something a lot worse. The screaming, the insults, the manipulation, those are all very obvious red flags, right? But I think what people don't talk
Fair.
about enough is the part that actually keeps you stuck. And it's the moments where they switch back to being sweet, caring, apologetic, just long enough to make you doubt everything. Narcissists keep you hooked by constantly flip-flopping between love and cruelty, keeping you so off balance that you start craving the very person who's hurting you. Right when you're about to leave, they suddenly revert back to that person that you fell in love with in the first place. They'll apologize, they'll cry, they'll swear that they're going to change, and you think, okay, maybe this time it is different. They train you to accept less and less. At first, they gave you everything. Now you are grateful for the bare minimum because you're comparing it to how bad things could be. You're not in love, you're being conditioned. The second you try to leave, they'll say, you're being too sensitive. You'll never find somebody who loves you like I do. And it's not about love, it's about control. They break you down and then they make themselves the solution. At first, they destroy your confidence. Then they become the only source of love and validation you have left. And it's a trap. The longer you stay, the harder it is to escape. But the truth is, they need you way more than you could ever need them. If this sounds at all familiar, please listen to me. This is not love, this is manipulation. And the only way to win and get out of this awful cycle of confusion is to leave, is to go no contact, is to cut them out of your life. Because a narcissist will keep you hooked by giving you just enough to stay, but never enough to actually make you feel secure.
I don't blame that other person. I blame her. You really let somebody do that to you? That says to me, that says more about her and her lack of self-esteem than it does about the other person. They're just doing what they can to keep her around. But all that stuff that she was saying is like, why are you letting this happen? And she's blaming that other person. They're reeling you back in. No, they're not. You're staying. So at the end, her last things that you're saying is to leave. Yeah, I get it. But how do you know all of this? You let somebody put you through all of that? I can't relate to that. Now, again, I would leave based on somebody's diet. I would leave based on like I said, my wife says that I would leave women over dumb things, and kind of, I guess, I don't know. But if she read the types of books I didn't like, I'd be like, I'm not dealing with that. It sounds bad now, I'm saying it out loud. And I would leave over weird stuff. I would leave over how a person eats. I would leave over how somebody treats. If a woman treats a waiter bad at a restaurant, I would never talk to them again. There's a lot of little things, but for me, I just know what I don't like. I just know what I don't like. But all that stuff that person put this woman through, it's weird that she allowed this. Because the only way she should know this is if she went through it or somebody maybe told her about it. But she's awfully specific on how they're doing what they're doing. That's a lot. This is a lot.
Constantly flip-flopping between love and cruelty.
Cruelty should be the end. All right, well, it was fun. See you later. Like, what do you mean cruelty? And then back to, but you allow that lady? That's on you. I can't be mad at the other person. You're allowing, he's doing what you allow him to do. And kids will do the same thing to you. They will push the boundary as far as you will let them go. Next thing you know, you're in Target and your kid's spinning around on the floor flopping like a fish. That's on you. That's not on the kid. The kid's doing what you're allowing them to do. There's no repercussions. You didn't set the boundaries. So when you see a kid acting out and throwing stuff in a store, like, that's not the kid's fault. That's what kids do. Kids are natural narcissists. They don't know anything but themselves. That's what they do. They have no frame of reference for anything else, anybody else. They don't care. We have to teach them that. And when you have an adult who was never taught that, they're going to act like a kid. And they're going to throw these temper tantrums. And they're going to be those habitual line pushers. They're going to press and press and press and press until you say, that's it. We're not doing this anymore. And then one more inch, bye, gone, leave them. It's over. That will help that person in the next relationship. Don't answer the phone. Don't talk to them. Don't text. Wipe everything. Don't unblock them and allow them to see what you're doing. None of that. It's over. Yeah, kids don't care. They're narcissists. They only care about what I want. That's why they cry like that. But I wanted whatever. I wanted Frosted Flakes. Okay, well, this is what you got. You liked this yesterday. You can handle it. Trust me, you'll be fine. And they start crying. But that's not what I want. Okay, we don't have Count Chocolates or whatever the other cereal is. This is what you're going to eat. That's it. I don't want to hear any more about it. And then they eat and they're mad and they have a fit. And it better stay inside. I don't want to hear the fit. That's how they learn. But now you have adults who are behaving this way because either they weren't taught that, or they didn't listen and no one corrected it, or they didn't have a father at all, or mother. I mean, it's not just the father. What's going on, Lou?
You so off balance that you start craving the very person who's hurting you.
Why do you crave him? That makes no sense to me. You have an issue. You're the one with the problems. You're craving neglect, purposeful neglect. You admit that you know he's doing it, and you still crave it. Nah, that's on you, lady.
Right when you're about to leave, they suddenly revert back to that person that you fell in love with in the first place. They'll apologize, they'll cry, they'll swear that they're going to change.
That's bipolar. You're letting this happen, lady. This is on you. If this were one of my daughters, I'd be like, this is you. This is you. It's all you. They won't want to hear that, but how can I blame the person who's doing that? I can't. I can't blame the other person. You're letting them get away with it. It's on you.
And you think, okay, maybe this time it is different. They train you to accept less and less. At first, they gave you everything. Now you are grateful for the bare minimum.
This lady looks to be 25 to 30 years old. You're telling me in 25 to 30 years, you don't know when somebody does something, they mean it? Then they do it again and again and again. And now you're craving that more? She's got issues. She needs therapy. She needs to speak with somebody like yesterday. She's allowing all this. And then at the end, again, she says the right thing. She's like, it's a revelation. She's acting like she's spitting knowledge. You went through this because you're crazy and you allowed a crazy person in your life. You allowed them to be crazy and you were crazy with them and you had fun. Just say it. I would rather them be honest and say, yeah, I kind of enjoyed this, this, and this. So I stayed there and dealt with it. Than to act like they're giving us a revelation for why they tolerated nonsense and insanity.
Because you're comparing it to how bad things could be. You're not in love, you're being conditioned. The second you try to leave, they'll say, you're being too sensitive.
You're not being conditioned, you are the condition. You're crazy. And that person is crazy. And you guys might be good for each other. You guys will be crazy. You both are sparing another man and another woman somewhere else your nonsense. Stay together. We don't care. Stay together. Harass each other for the rest of your lives. I'm sure it'll be fun to you.
You'll never find somebody who loves you like I do. And it's not about love, it's about control. They break you down and then they make themselves the solution. At first, they destroy your confidence. Then they become the only source of love and validation you have left. And it's a trap. The longer you stay, the harder it is to escape.
Why would you stay at all? What do you mean the longer you stay? See, I listen to words. I can tell when somebody's done something dumb. I can tell when they're lying. I can tell when they're enabling. She was in this relationship. She's being very specific. So it's clearly happened to her. She's not just reading off of an example sheet somewhere. You allowed it. Take responsibility and say, I messed up. I shouldn't have been with this person. I should have laid boundaries. They should have laid boundaries. Neither of us did. And I ended up in this horrible situation. Then tell us what went on. But don't say this like this narcissist did this to me. No, you did it. And then admit that you're the narcissist too. Because you thought that you were the one who can help this narcissist because you're a narcissist.
But the truth is, they need you way more than you could ever need them. If this sounds at all familiar, please
No, it
listen to
doesn't.
me. This is not love. This is manipulation. And the only way to win and get out of this awful cycle of confusion is to leave, is to go no contact,
I agree.
is to cut them out of your life. Because a narcissist will keep you hooked by giving you just enough to stay.
It's not him, it's you. You're looking for hope. They didn't hook you. This lady's crazy. I hope none of these people see this. It's not a big reaction. I'm not a big channel. But why does everyone point the finger at the other person? I don't allow that. I've never allowed that. If I'm talking to her about her and she starts talking about some narcissist, I don't want to hear it. Don't even bring that person up. Let's talk about you and why you're with the person. And I think more people need to do this because it's not just, in the physical world. You see it online all the time. Like, why are you pointing fingers at somebody else for what you're doing or what you're allowing? Now, if you want to allow it, that's fine. Just say that. But don't try to blame other people once you realize you look stupid. And that's what she's doing. This narcissist for a secret weapon. No, lady, it's you. You're the secret weapon. You're the one who allows him to do what he's doing. It's really simple.
But never enough to actually make you feel secure.
Did you forget my birthday? Are you serious?
Oh my god, babe.
Wow. Bad as it is, I cut my face and then you forget my birthday.
Baby, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry for this.
Are you upset? I'm so sorry. Happy birthday, babe.
I don't want to hear it now. Everybody else tell me happy birthday. Everybody been going on my phone and I get no happy birthday from you, nothing.
Baby, I'm so sorry. Give me a kiss. What?
It's crazy.
Wait.
Not even a post, nothing.
Maybe. Dang, I can't. Oh my god, I feel like the worst girlfriend ever.
Well, you should. It's crazy. That is
Baby, I would never forget your birthday. Like, come on. I couldn't tell you happy birthday. But I promise, I'm gonna make it up to you later.
If a person.
So, have you guys ever experienced anything like that? I was laughing through the whole thing. I'm like, there's no way. There's just no way. I'm looking at it like, is she really gonna let this dude do this to her? And that was probably a skit. But I've seen women say that guys will do that. And I've seen guys say that women will do that, like full-on gaslighting and a guilt trip. What do you gotta feel guilty about? Yeah, you should feel bad, Mrs. Birthday, but that bad? At some point, why didn't she stop and say, all right, dude, what are we doing here? What are you doing? What is this? Instead, she doubles down on the niceness, supposedly. I don't believe it. I genuinely think that was an act. But are there really people like that? Not like him. I know there's people like him, but are there really people who fall for that? Man, everybody was like, he's really that hurt over his birthday. I don't believe that. And I could be wrong. I don't believe anybody could be like this. Hold on, that is the worst game I've ever seen. To guilt this person into doing whatever they want for a good 48, maybe even 72 hours. Maybe you might get a week out of that. Well, yeah, but you did forget my birthday 3 days ago. Like, it's your birthday. That is clown behavior. That is as feminine as it gets. No offense to women, but for a man to do that, I don't believe it.
Make you feel secure.
I really don't.
Did you forget my birthday? Are you serious?
Oh my god, baby.
Wow. Bad as it is, I cut my face and then you forget my birthday.
Baby, I'm so sorry.
He tied it into something else that happened to him. And she's like, oh my god, you did cut your face. This is the worst game I've ever seen. But it's working, so I guess he found somebody dumb enough to fall for it. Again, I don't know if this is real. You can literally see the word toxic That's an IG thing. I need to follow them. They only post toxic relationships. I wish I would see one of my daughters falling for this. Oh my God. Dude would be dragged out of the house. Dragged out. Drug out. He'll be hurt.
I'm sorry.
Sorry for this.
He's gonna make her say it.
Are you upset? I'm so sorry.
Did he say I'm sorry because he wants to explain? I'm sorry. I'm not being cruel to this woman, but I don't know how she gets to that age and doesn't know what he's doing to her. I don't understand this. I don't understand this at all. This one was one of my favorites. In a good way and in a bad way. Like, there's no way this can work on a human being. There's no way that she's that naive.
Happy birthday, babe.
I don't want to hear it now. Everybody else tell me happy birthday. Everybody been blowing on my phone, and I get no happy birthday from you. Nothing.
Baby, I'm so sorry. Give me a kiss. What?
It's crazy.
Wait.
Not even a post. Nothing.
Baby. Dang, I can't. Oh my God, I feel like the worst girlfriend ever.
Well, you should. It's crazy. That is
Baby, I would never forget your birthday. Like, come on. I couldn't tell you happy birthday. But I promise, I'm gonna make it up to you later.
If a person is constantly asking their partner if they are okay or if they are upset with them, it's a form of emotional monitoring, which is a trauma response to growing up in an unstable or abusive environment. Don't get upset at them for asking a million times, but give them the reassurance they are seeking. The reassurance is actually helping them heal, and the habit of them asking will lessen.
He's gay. I'm sorry. We don't talk like this. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't even understand. That's like, he's like speaking Mandarin or something. I don't know what that dude is saying. He's gay. He's gay.
I promise, I'm gonna make it up to you later.
If a person is constantly asking their partner if they are okay or if they are upset with them, it's a form of emotional monitoring, which is a trauma response to growing up in an unstable or abusive environment. Don't get upset at them for asking a million times, but give them the reassurance they are seeking. The reassurance is actually helping them heal.
I got a headache. He's gay. That's the bottom line. Okay. This might apply to women, but again, this goes back to the other guy. He's not speaking for men. I don't know what that is. I don't even know. He's gay. That's it.
And the habit of them asking will lessen.
People that let you go when you were the good person, let them keep going because they didn't see your value. They didn't see you. You shouldn't have to beg someone to be in your life. I've done that a lot. People that didn't see my value, people that just let me go when I was nothing but good to them, I've like tried to beg and plead and simp for them to stay. Dude, if someone doesn't want to be there, let them go. Let them feel that pain of regret of losing you when they're not where they want to be and they realize like they lost a good person.
All right, so maybe he's not gay, but he's definitely a simp. There's no doubt that this dude is a simp. Actually, he actually said he's a simp. But that kind of language, ladies, men don't talk like this. They don't. He's getting clicks, or he's getting paid, or he ain't getting laid. This is not normal talk from a dude. It's just not.
And the habit of them asking will lessen.
People that let you go when you were the good person, let them keep going because they didn't see your value. They didn't see you. You shouldn't have to beg someone to be in your life. I've done that a lot. People.
He's done that a lot. You beg people to stay in your life. It's not them. It's you. People should be begging you to stay in your life. These dudes are not.
That didn't see my value, people that just let me go when I was nothing but good to them, I've like tried to beg and plead and simp for them to stay. Dude.
See, he said, at least he admits it. Nah, I'm a simp. And he said it like it's past tense, but I can hear you, dude. You're still using the simp language. You're still talking like that. You're still like, ugh. That's all I can do when I hear somebody just talking like this. He's done it a lot. You caught that? Like, you begged women a lot. Here's the other thing: people say partner a lot, so I don't know what you're talking about. He should be saying woman. Why is he saying partner? I've had to beg them a lot. People. So maybe it's something else. Maybe it's something else because I don't understand. Like, so if you're addressing men and women and you're talking about them, specifically, I can see you saying you guys, them, they. But he's clearly talking about him. So why is he referring to them as women? I don't know. This is just a weird. All of these, not all of them. A lot of these are just weird. The phrasing is weird. The words they use are weird, but they have meaning. They're saying them for a reason.
If someone doesn't want to be there, let them go. Let them feel that pain of regret of losing you when they're not where they want to be and they realize like they lost a good person.
I would have saved myself a lot of stress, bro, in relationships if I just looked at the red flags and looked at the signs and was just mad enough to end the relationships early. Because what I've done instead is I've known early in a relationship red flags, I need to peace. But I'm such a goddamn people pleaser and I want everyone to be happy that I'm like, maybe there's some good in this girl. Maybe there's some good. So I'll stay, right? And then I'll fall in love. I'll open my heart based off of a story because the person that I'm with doesn't even exist. And then 3 months, 6 months, a year later, she breaks up with me. And I'm sitting here hurt over something that I should have not even engaged with. And I just wasted a year of my life with this person. And now I have to think about you for the next couple of years.
Couple of years. All right, so he's not gay. He's trying to get laid. He's full. He's just lying. I don't believe a word he just said. And I know he's not. Well, I figure he's not gay. He did say she. I mean, he's one of the first ones to say she, but he's trying to make himself look like this good guy. I'm such a people pleaser. I stayed even though I saw these red flags. I really wanted what was best for her. He's trying to get laid. You're not fooling anybody. If you're a woman and that sounded good to you, you're his target audience. And if he were in front of you, he'd be trying to hit it. That's who that guy is. He said he's got to think about it for the next couple of years. What he's trying to tell a woman, he's signaling to women who would listen to that nonsense that he's a great guy. He's a keeper. He falls in love so hard that he's a people pleaser. So he will do anything to keep this relationship. Don't fall for these types of things. Consult with the men in your life and let us help you vet these dudes. I see through that guy. I don't know him, never talked to him. I see what his words are, and I know he's fake.
Like they lost a good person.
I would have saved myself a lot of stress, bro, in relationships if I just looked at the red flags and looked at the signs and was just mad enough to end the relationships early. Because what I've done instead is I've known early in a relationship red flags, I need to peace. But I'm such a goddamn people pleaser and I want everyone to be happy that I'm like, maybe there's some good in this girl. Maybe there's some good. So I'll stay, right? And then I'll fall in love. I'll open my heart.
So you see how much he can love you, ladies? He loves all the way, 100%. And then he's going to cap it off by being a victim. This dude. I would say this is good, but it really isn't. It's so fake. It's so fake.
Based off of a story, because the person that I'm with doesn't even exist. And then 3 months, 6 months, a year later, she breaks up with me.
Victim.
And I'm sitting here hurt over something that I should have not even engaged with. And I just wasted a year of my life with this person. And now I have to think about you for the next couple of years.
That's so fake. But he's so capable and willing to love ladies. That's what he's doing. It's a great topic. Advice I give my daughter about men. What kind of advice? I mean, you can. So, what I will say, the stuff these guys are saying is good advice from a woman's perspective, not from a man's perspective. But you guys got to see through. Like when you hear stuff like this, you got to see what they're doing. Okay? You just or at least know where they're coming from, because this dude's just full of it. He's just so full of it. He's in it to get laid, bro. I just love so hard. It's just, I really, oh yeah, got it. Yeah. Guys who talk like that are just, yeah.
When should I give up on somebody?
When they're not interested in you.
What if they say they're interested in me?
Okay.
Is it
They tell me they love me,
Okay.
but they don't show it.
Then they don't love you and they're not interested in you.
You think so?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what people say. What matters is what they do. People can say anything, but what are your choices, the behaviors over time?
What about it's like showing nothing until it's about to end, and then they come in with the doing.
That means it was always nothing, and the doing is a manipulation. Their patterns are important. If their pattern is initially doing lots and then doing nothing, that's the reality of the pattern, is that was a facade and this is the reality.
All right, so yes, I believe that's a skit, but there's several issues that I have with this one from the beginning. First of all, he's asking, not that a guy can't ask advice from a woman, but the questions he's asking, again, he's not using her, he's not using she. So if this is a different kind of relationship, alternative relationship, she can't help you unless she's in that community also, because guys are completely different than women. We're just different. So he can't be getting advice from a woman. He can't. And I just listen to the words. Again, I listen to words. They have meaning.
When should I give up on somebody?
When they're not interested in you.
What if they say they're interested?
Look at him. He's not straight. But why is he asking the woman this question? And why did he say, now, if you're saying, what if, when should I give up on a woman? Okay, then this conversation makes sense. But this conversation doesn't make sense to me.
When should I give up on somebody?
Somebody.
When they're not interested in you.
What if they say they're interested in me?
Okay.
They tell me they love me, but they don't show it.
Then they don't love you and they're not interested in you.
You think so?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what people say. What matters is what they do. People can say anything, but what are your choices, the behaviors over time?
What about it's like showing nothing until it's about to end, and then they come in with the doing.
That means it was always nothing, and the doing is a manipulation. Their patterns are important. If their pattern is initially doing lots and then doing nothing, that's the reality of the pattern, is that was a facade and this is the reality.
How does she know? He's clearly talking about a guy. So how's she advising him? And again, people, they're not talking about this. They're talking past each other. They probably don't know if this is real. But I agree, Sheriff Claire, I believe this was a skit. It's a funny one, but he's clearly gay. Clearly. Just by the thing, his concerns. His concerns alone tell me that he is. So what are we doing here? What is this conversation? Because if he is, then she's got to give him the reference from a woman-male relationship or a woman-woman relationship. But the male, if it was a woman-male relationship, she can't relate to a male-male relationship. So anything she says does not matter. It doesn't apply. Sorry. It's a waste of 38 seconds.
Is that was a facade and this is the reality.
Manipulation is that they get upset to your reaction from their disrespect. It's, I've hurt you and now I'm the victim because you don't like me anymore. No.
So even when I agree, I look at the person saying it and say she's crazy. I'm sorry. Clearly it happened to her because of how she's acting. This tells me they're selling something. Why are you so invested in this? Unless it happened to you, okay, well, now you're telling other people. Why are you so dramatic? It's really this kind of dramatic. It's annoying, and it immediately turns me off, and I immediately want to know what's really going on here. Listen, look at what she's saying is correct. I don't disagree with what she's saying, but why is she so dramatic about it? That gonna get her extra clicks?
Manipulation is that they get upset to your reaction from their disrespect. It's, I've hurt you and now I'm the victim because you don't like me anymore. No.
Why do all that? it's to inspire other women to, I don't even know if it's just, I mean, it has to be women because no guy's gonna respond to that. Definitely not in that way. But it's to get somebody to get fed up and it's time to walk out. This is enough. She's crazy. She has to be. Why would she do that? This one's very interesting. I'll just play this.
Until this day, I get blamed for how severely he screwed my life up. I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't drink anything without feeling pain and just true pain. And I get blamed for feeling this way. And then it's just ridiculous how someone can hurt you so much, and just expect you to move on from it and not care and just move on like as if nothing happened.
You should not. So even before, I don't want to hear him yet. If your daughter comes home talking like this, she needs to leave whoever this is alone. Now I understand there's emotions, whatever, but she's making it sound like it's the other person obsessing over her while she's bawling, crying like an emotional wreck. And this is not healthy. Like, unless you've been with this person for years and you're worried about, maybe the relationship ending, I don't see how someone her age is responding like this. This is crazy.
Until this day, I get blamed for how severely he screwed my life up. I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't
That's not healthy.
Drink anything without feeling pain and just true pain.
She needs serious therapy because she's not even old enough to have been with this person long enough to feel any of this. And I know when we're younger, everyone has their heartbreaks, but this is something different. This is like a need, like she needs this person, which is a really bad sign. Fully dependent, because there's no reason for her to be this bent out of shape. But of course, the pain of being loved by a narcissist, ignoring that she's clearly a narcissist. Clearly she's a narcissist. Yeah, there you go. She has to. There's no reason why she should be relying on any guy at this stage of her life to tear her up this badly. Crying, normal. Get it. Emotions, normal. Get it. But she's talking like, she said it ruined her life. Whoever this person is ruined her life. But not only did they ruin her life, but she's saying then they expect me to get over it. Yeah. She's got serious issues that she needs to work out. And hopefully she's got somebody in her life to tell her you need to go to a therapist because you should not be acting this way over anyone. Because that person can get you to do crazy things if you act like this. This is the kind of person who ends up in like a brutal physical fight with the guy. Whether he's involved or not, whether he's engaging or not, she's got some serious emotional issues to where and I'm not saying she's dangerous, but this kind of emotion can become very dangerous from anybody. I don't care who they are.
And I get blamed for feeling this way. And then it's just ridiculous how someone can hurt you so much, and just expect you to move on from it and not care and just move on like as if nothing happened.
You should
listen to this
not
guy.
have to feel like this. Narcissistic and manipulative men feel accountable when you start to express your emotions.
Why did he go straight to the man? This is why I said a lot of this stuff is geared towards women. Why is he attacking the man in this? Does he know the guy? Has he spoken with the guy? You see this woman acting crazy and you immediately say narcissistic men. Why, why did he go there? That's the first place he went, was talking about the dude in this situation. When you see her, she's sitting there right in front of you, acting crazy. And not enough, I'm not insulting her, but she's acting crazy. So why is he going at the men? Okay, I go straight to, okay, what is your purpose here? You're trying to get laid, or you're trying to sell something. You're trying to sell subscriptions, books, whatever you're trying to do. But this is not a normal response from a man. The normal response from a man is that, are you okay? What's going on with you? Well, he didn't. I don't want to hear about him. What's going on with you? You're the one here crying in front of me. What are you feeling? Why do you feel like this? Instead, this dude jumps to a guy who's not there to explain himself, so he can just create an entire scenario in his head and then verbalize it as if he's helping somebody.
As if nothing happened.
You should not have to feel like this. Narcissistic and manipulative men feel accountable when you start to express your emotions. That's why they want you to stop so quickly. They'll blame you for even having an emotion like you're not allowed to. They're so selfish and worried about maintaining their own narrative that they'll do it at the expense of how you're gonna feel. Then blame you for how you reacted to their bad behavior.
That dude's insane. He hates his father. I don't know. He was raised by a woman. I don't know where all that came from. That's not normal. It is not normal for him to be this mad at the guy who made her feel this way. Unless, again, he's trying to get laid. I'm the one who will do right by you. That's what he's doing. There's no excuse for this. Why is he yelling at some imaginary guy? Oh my gosh. You hear my son? He's crazy.
Not have to feel like this. Narcissistic and manipulative men feel accountable when you start to express your emotions. That's why they want you to stop so quickly. They'll blame you for even having an emotion like you're not allowed to. They're so selfish and worried about maintaining their own narrative that they'll do it at the expense of how you're gonna feel. Then blame you for how you reacted to their bad behavior.
That dude's horrible. That dude's a horrible human being. Horrible human being on many different levels. But that was just sick. This one's not that bad. Let me listen to it. I don't remember why I put this in here.
For how you reacted to their bad behavior.
I stopped sitting down and being upset and feeling sorry for myself. I took accountability and said, you know what? I literally do everything. So why am I sitting here upset? If this is not treating me the way I want to be treated right now, I need to go where I'm loved. I need to go where I'm seen. I need to go and do other things that I love.
So that one was, she took accountability, still blamed the other person, but at least she took accountability. That's why I put that one in there, because she's like, this is on me. And let's see. Let me go back. Because what she said wasn't bad. I don't disagree with what she said. Hold on one second. Sheriff said, first questions I would ask is, why are you allowing it? Absolutely. And what makes you feel you deserve that behavior? Absolutely. That'll let you know where their mindset is immediately. If they're talking like that, there's insecurities. I mean, serious insecurities. If you think your life is ruined, like, you don't think you can do better. You don't even think there's anybody else. So it's not even about doing better. You don't think you can find any human being. And it's like, yeah, never. Thank you so much. I would not take the time to blame the other person. They are who they are. But why are you with them? Personal accountability. I think that's why I liked what the next lady said. I know she's a singer. I just don't know who she is. I know she's somebody, but I don't know who she is. But I like that she said, hey, this is me. But yes, this is what I've always done. It's what I always will do. I don't want it. Don't point the finger at anybody else. I'm talking about you. Why do you think you can't find anybody? You're with this person. You don't think you can do better? And once they start talking, they'll tell you everything. No, I don't think. Okay, so now we have a whole different direction to go with this conversation. But don't let, if you're helping somebody, don't let them talk about the other person unless there's something very, very specific. But either way, the question is going to come back to right here what she said. Don't blame the other person. Why are you there? They're going to do what they do. Why are you there? I think it's time for you to leave.
For how you reacted to their bad behavior.
I stopped sitting down and being upset and feeling sorry for myself. I took accountability and said, you know what? I literally do everything. So why am I sitting here upset? If this is not treating me the way I want to be treated right now, I need to go where I'm loved. I need to go where I'm seen. I need to go and do other things that I love.
I would through her, I would ask her, because she said, I'm doing everything. You sure about that? If you're doing everything, you probably wouldn't be. Yeah, that's who she is. Yeah. I knew she was somebody. I just didn't know. I didn't know her name. But yeah, that's his ex-wife. If you're doing everything, you wouldn't most likely be in the situation you're in. So I would ask about the other person and see why you think you're doing everything, because it's very, very rare that everyone is doing everything. But it seems like every time somebody gets left or leaves a relationship, they were doing everything. They were the good guy. And that's not the case. This one here, I'll play it.
I used to think that communication was key until I realized that comprehension is. I can say everything the right way, be as clear as possible, but if you don't want to understand me, then it's just silent chaos.
All right, so I'm going to interrupt this one because she's crazy. Her assumption is that she's articulating it the way the other person can receive it. So she's assuming they don't want to listen. It's on them. No, it's still on you. Because if they're not comprehending, you have to re-articulate what you're saying to get your point across. But she's crazy, and as she speaks, you'll see.
Communication was key until I realized that comprehension is. I can say everything the right way, be as clear as possible, but if you don't want to understand me, then it's just silent chaos.
So she thinks it's the other person's lack of wants. And it may have been, in all fairness to her. But if you're in a relationship, the other person probably wants to understand you. Nobody wants to sit there and just ignore what you're saying and not have a conversation. She's not a good communicator. And I'm getting that from the first 3-4 sentences that she said. She's not a good communicator. A person who wants to hear that is the other person's fault is not taking responsibility. Yeah, they want to be comforted, which is fine. But at the end of the day, we still got to figure out how you can avoid this next time, because that's where we're going now. That person's behind you. We're going to this next person. How do we avoid doing this again? That's where you got to look at yourself and what you're looking for in the person, and how you're handling that person, and how you're communicating. This person here can't communicate, so it's the other guy's fault. That's what she's saying. Silent chaos. They don't want to understand me.
I shouldn't have to beg you to hear me. I shouldn't have to repeat myself or break things down, tiptoe around my words just so you don't twist them into something that they're not.
Maybe, just maybe, they're trying to repeat back what they hear to make sure they have a full understanding. Her confidence is her downfall. She really thinks she's a great communicator. She sounds crazy to me.
Communication was key until I realized that comprehension is. I can say everything the right way, be as clear as possible, but if you don't want to understand me, then it's just silent chaos. I shouldn't have to beg you to hear me. I shouldn't have to repeat myself or break things down, tiptoe around my words just so you don't twist them into something that they're not. You don't listen to understand. You listen to react. You listen to defend yourself. You listen just enough to argue back. And I'm exhausted because no matter how many times I try to explain, you only hear what you want to hear.
And so the last part, a lot of that could be true. That doesn't change what she said at the beginning. I shouldn't have to break things down. I shouldn't have to repeat it. Yeah, that's literally how you get people to understand things. Literally, that's how you get people to understand things. That's what rote training is. Repetition over and over and over. And then you break it down so the other person understands it. If you can't do that, you're never going to have a good understanding with whoever you're with. Never. So sitting there confident and talking like you're saying poetry, and he's just not good enough for me. He dodged a bullet. I can tell you that right now.
You take my feelings and you make them about you. You turn my words into a battle that I never even wanted to fight, but I'm done. I'm done trying to make you see my side. Done trying to prove that my feelings are valid. If you wanted to understand me, you would. If you
That's messed up. Anyway, no, so again, if I believed what she's saying, I would agree with the second half of all the stuff that she's talking about. But she's saying things like, I don't have to explain, I don't have to, and all she's telling me is she's a horrible communicator. And she's showing that by saying, I don't want to do any of the things that is required to communicate properly with you. Good. Like I said, he dodged a bullet. He definitely dodged a bullet because she's crazy. She wants him to know what she's thinking, interpret what she's trying to say, and then react accordingly. This woman's crazy. She's so confident in her stupidity. That's the part that I really like. I enjoy this. I'm sorry. I'm going to play it one more time. This is the last time I'll play it. I just enjoy her stupidity because she's so confident in it. Like, yeah, I'm standing on it.
The things that I love.
I used to think that communication was key until I realized that comprehension is. I can say everything the right way, be as clear as possible, but if you don't want to understand me, then it's just silent chaos.
And one more thing about this. Sorry. I shouldn't stop it this much. Men and women are so different. You can say something and we don't understand what you're saying because we interpret it a different way. Doesn't mean they're not trying to understand like she's saying. It means we're hearing something that registers completely different than how you're meaning to say it. And I'm sure it's the other way around. I'm sure, ladies, you hear us say things and you're like, that makes absolutely no sense. I know because my wife has called me an idiot a lot of times. She's like, that's just stupid. And I accept it. I've been with her long enough to understand she's not like calling me stupid. She's saying that it's just stupid. I don't agree with that. That's fine. Both people need to be able to say what they're saying. And you guys really should work to understand. Don't just say, oh, okay, and move on. If you don't understand, say it. I don't understand. We need to really work this out. She's saying, I don't want to have to repeat myself. I just want him to understand. And she's crazy. She's insane. We don't hear what you're saying. You guys a lot of times don't hear what we're saying. And she's coming from a perspective, again, if they really had these arguments and he's really tried to manipulate her, I guess. See, Claire's saying she's not crazy. So let's see what she said. She said, I get what she's saying. If you have tried to communicate the same thing over and over, I'm out. Okay, how do you know you're communicating it effectively? What if you're just repeating yourself, but you're not changing it up enough for us to understand? And this is a big issue. Maybe it is not a guy, but this is a really big issue in relationships because people will say, I've said it over and over and over and over. Okay, well, how have you said it? I've said A, B, C, D, E. Okay, and then I'll help. You can believe I'll hear the person saying something, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, it sounds like you're saying this. Is this what you're trying to say? And they'll say no. Okay, so then you got to rephrase it in a way that's digestible to him. The Lakers pen. If he doesn't digest it, he's not going to ever understand what you're saying. Repeating it does absolutely nothing. All right. Don't cam up because I'm about to put you to stage. How you doing, young lady? Hold on, let me change this. How you
I'm
doing?
cammed up. I'm not cammed up. I'm cammed up. I'm not cammed up. They can't get me.
So I kind of agree with what you said. If so, to me, her presentation is saying that she's not a good communicator. So you said she's not crazy, and you wanted to hit the link. What's up?
Okay, so there have been many times, and it may be poor communication on my part, that I've been in that boat where I'm like explaining. I explain it a different way. I try to yelling, try not yelling, try softer, try sexy, different kinds of ways of communicating it, and it's still not working, then we not working. Because if we can't communicate, we can't be in a relationship. So if that's where she is, like, we've tried this for 6 months and we keep bumping heads and over and over and over, and I'm like, you want to go to therapy? You want to go to a counselor? And they're no, and I'm like, okay, I can't do it. I'm sorry. We need to end this. And it's not anything particularly, I'm not going to say it's something wrong with them, but it's something wrong with our communication that someone else needs to get involved. And if you don't want to get someone else involved, I don't know what else to do. I'm not getting what I need and want out of the relationship because we can't communicate. So let's end it. There's no.
That's fair for future reference. Or if you're talking to your daughter and helping her through one of these situations, have her bring it to a guy and see if it's not how you're saying what you're saying, because we don't hear the same things. We really don't, or we'll hear the same things, but we're interpreting it completely different. So you can re-articulate it 10 times and we can still hear you, just a variation of whatever. I don't want, I can make up something, but repeating it does not necessarily mean you're getting that point across. And the best way I found with my wife, because I know we very often have no idea what the other one's talking about, I will ask her, or I would have her repeat it, and then I'll tell her what I'm hearing, and then it allows her to say, "Oh, no, that's not what I meant at all," and then she can course correct if there's a way to course correct. But repeating it's not going to work because we're just going to keep hearing the same thing over and over, and then the guy's going to be like, "Oh, she's just nagging," and shrug it off. You don't want that. Because that's not real communication. You can't have an end result of that, because it's going to be even worse because he's dismissing what you're being serious about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I've been in enough relationships to know that sometimes I'll like I said, I'll try different methods to the point where it's like, we need someone else that can stand in the gap to hear me, hear you, that's on the outside, that can bring it in. They have counselors with husbands and wives, or men and women, that can, mediate that. Yeah. Because we women and men did, especially in our, well, in this United States, but anyway, girls grew up playing house. The moment she comes out the womb, we give her a stuffed animal and she calls it her baby. She's playing mommy, she's playing husband, she's got a fake refrigerator for her toy, as her toys, a fake stove. So she's been playing house. He's been playing basketball games. I play video games, but he's been playing video games. He's been playing games. So when these two grow up, they may have a different understanding. She's been playing house a long time. He just starting to play house. He don't know how to play this game. So we already have that difference with the communication right there. So
so there are two different languages. That men are from Mars, women are from Venus, whatever that is. That's real. It's real. And so what I would say is, you don't have to. Most guys in a regular relationship are not going to want to go to counseling. They're just not. They're just not. Just go to a guy. Go to a brother or a father or somebody and just tell him without this guy being there. He doesn't have to be there. You just need a different perspective as to what could he possibly be hearing if I've articulated it 10 different times and he's still not hearing me. Take it to a guy and just say it to him. Hey, what if I said this to you, how do you interpret it? It may very well be that he hears it the way you're trying to interpret it. Then maybe it is a communication issue with the guy. But most of the time, a guy's going to have a completely different perspective, and it will help you in the future with other guys, or hopefully with this one that you were trying to communicate with. But if not, it'll at least give you an idea of, okay, I'm going to go to this person from now on. I'm going to go to my brother from now on, and just to pick his brain and see what he's thinking, because we just don't speak the same language. And that, I'm telling you, that breaks up more relationships than anything else.
Your mic is giving a little feedback.
Oh, crap. Sorry. Really?
Yeah. It was doing it a little bit while I was in the chat, but I could still hear. I don't.
How about, is this any better?
I don't know. You have to keep talking because it goes in and out. Like, I don't know the volume. You know, it might be made for a European volume and not a Black person volume. You know how an actor, you know how they have to wear different mics because we have more vibration in our voices. So that could be it.
Oh, I see what happened. The mic.
What is it called?
Why it did that? So this should sound better now. Why did it do that?
Volume. Someone was on my panel yesterday, and he had a frog. So I went to his avatar and edit his audio and just did the allow adjustment, whatever it's called, and it took the frog right out. So
yeah. So I wonder what this is. It switched my mic to my headphones instead of my actual mic. I wonder when it did that. That sucks. And it was playing choppy on my end too. I don't know what that's all about. I may have to. There might be an update or something I got to do. But anyway, what I was saying is,
it's better though.
Okay, cool. Yeah, take it to one person, and if they give you reliable information and they're engaged, just trust that person going forward to help you interpret, because a lot of times we just need interpreters.
And you know, also with women, especially with the younger women, I think about myself. I wasn't going to my dad or my uncles about guys that I was dating. You know, I don't know if he's serious. I don't know if this serious. I wasn't even going to my mom about them. So I went to my girlfriends. And
what do they know about a guy?
My girlfriends gave me the worst advice most times ever. I still resent them. I never want to talk to them again. I'm like, you gave me the wrong advice on purpose. You hate me. I never want to talk to them again. I feel like they did it on purpose. They wanted their relationship to end. So we want to repeat, oh, he did this, he held my hand, he did, you know, we do all of that with the girlfriend and we get that feedback from her, but we don't actually get it from, and unfortunately in our society, our community, we don't have those trusting Black fathers or uncles, because we got the issue of some of these uncles want to touch and daddies that ain't around, and you know.
Yeah, and that's in every community. Ours, we're just missing the fathers. But just for any woman, I've always recommended, even if it's a brother, even if it's a guy at work, just hearing how we think it's so different, it might help you guys re-articulate it in a way that's digestible to the dude.
And even sometimes when you go to talk to that guy that you just want to, you know, get his thoughts on it, he trying to hit on you, so he giving you bad advice.
That's why I said father. That's why I said father and brother at first, because so that's a great point, because a guy will do that. A guy will do that. So that's why I always say father, brother first.
Yeah, I wasn't,
because there's nobody with more of an interest in you finding a good guy than your fathers or your brothers.
Yeah, so that's all I had to say about me agreeing with what she was saying, not knowing her whole thing, how many times she communicated with him.
Yeah,
I just can understand that trying to communicate with someone over and over and over until you know it's just like, sweetie, baby, it ain't personal. I don't know. Maybe God just didn't want us to communicate. I mean, you know what I mean? Maybe we just let's go into the signs. You're a Taurus and I'm a Virgo. I'm a this, you know.
Oh, geez, don't do that.
The moon and the sun just don't want to connect here. So, yeah.
I still think she's crazy, but it's based on her words. It's based on her words. She didn't say, I try communicating different ways. She said, I keep repeating myself and you just don't want to understand. And I'm like,
Well, what are the comments on what she's saying? Because the women and the men may give different comments.
Definitely.
So if the women are saying, yeah, then you got to look at maybe she's not crazy. And this is really how women are feeling and thinking. And maybe it needs to be corrected, but.
Which is why I always have my recommendation. I will always say that. Not a guy friend, for sure. I always say brother, fathers. If you have a father who's still around, if you have brothers who are still alive, go to them. Then uncles. That's still whatever. But the closest you can get, the better. Because uncles are less interested. It's not that they're not interested. They just don't have the same stake as a brother. A brother's going to look at a dude like, who is this? That's my sister. You know what I mean? We just have that in us. Father definitely has that in him. He's got to hand his daughter to this person. So he's really has your best interest at heart. Nobody else is going to have that. But if you don't have a father, I always go straight to the brother. You don't have that?
My sisters can go to my dad and uncles. I'm just sneaky. I just always wanted to be sneaky. That's why I tell guys, listen, I'm not serious. If I was serious, I would have, I would consult the. Like I said, I didn't bring them even to my mother. Like, dude, I'm playing. I'm serious.
And that's different because that's you're not looking for. So it does depend on your end goal. If you are if you are dating with intentions, that's the guy I'm talking about. I'm not talking about dudes you just whatever. That's completely different. And I understand why you wouldn't want to bring him around. Because most likely, if he's doing that, he ain't the kind of person you want to bring around your father. So I get that.
And I never thought too many of them were good enough. I think I'm a bit of a narcissist, but don't tell nobody. I really do. I got a little hint, little touch.
Everybody does. How else do you know what you fully want if you're not? Like you have to. There is definitely narcissism in everybody. It's when it goes too far that it starts impacting other people. If it doesn't impact anyone else, I don't think it's out of the norm.
Yeah. And because we're on this crazy platform where people will use your words against you.
Oh,
I won't get into, marriages, not marriages, this, and that. But look, I think I'm a bit of a narcissist.
I think we all are, for sure.
Alrighty, back to the chat.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you. Leave in.
All right. So I'll finish this since the sheriff says she's not crazy. I'll play her out and I won't interrupt her anymore.
I shouldn't have to beg you to hear me. I shouldn't have to repeat myself or break things down, tiptoe around my words just so you don't twist them into something that they're not. You don't listen to understand. You listen to react. You listen to defend yourself. You listen just enough to argue back, and I'm exhausted.
Okay, so I wasn't going to, but if somebody's on the defense, it could be your presentation, or they just weren't expecting this conversation at this moment, right? It doesn't mean that they're being defensive in a negative way and trying to fight. Because I haven't heard her say anything about fighting. It just sounds like he gets defensive. And if you come out of nowhere with a question, and it can come across to him that, hey, whoa, where's this coming from? I thought we were good. That's not a bad thing. He's genuinely saying, whoa, I thought we were good. Where's this coming from? And I don't think it has to be, because again, she hasn't said that he's listening to fight. She said he's listening to defend himself. Well, if he's defending himself, he thinks that he's done something wrong and he's trying to figure out what. And he's asking you, hey, what did I do? So I'm listening to her words and I'm just hearing something completely different.
Because no matter how many times I try to explain, you only hear what you want to hear. You take my feelings and you make them about you. You turn my words into a battle that I never even wanted to fight, but I'm done. I'm done trying to make you see my side. Done trying to prove that my feelings are valid. If you wanted to understand me, you would. If you cared, you would. You see, real connection doesn't take convincing. It just flows.
If you wanted to care, you would. No guy is going to go back and forth with a woman if he doesn't care. Now, he may be crazy and like to argue, but you can't say he doesn't care. Like, I'd love to meet the guys that these women are all talking about. I'd love to meet them.
Feel safe.
The number one trait of a good woman is she's naturally grateful. She's a grateful person. And this is where a lot of men get it wrong, is they attach to ungrateful women and entitled women. And the reason they attach to that is because there's an ego boost in trying to get the ungrateful woman to appreciate what you've done because you feel like you've actually earned something. It's an ego boost. Like if a woman is naturally grateful, you don't have to do a lot to impress her. But an ungrateful, entitled woman, you have to do more. So men end up investing more in the entitled woman because she takes more for her to crack a smile. When she's ungrateful, you'll keep trying. And firstly, you can never please an ungrateful person, so you're just wasted efforts. And eventually you'll start to think, why am I trying? I might as well be with somebody else, or I might as well do something else. But usually you're too scared to walk away, so you end up being unfaithful.
That was insanely good. That was the best one. Well, this one's a really good one too, but that's the whole cat and mouse game. It's a game, it's a game, it's a game. Dudes will usually do that with a woman they don't think that they deserve the woman, so they try to impress, and they're doing exactly what she's saying. This was the most powerful one. Like this, whoever this lady is, I don't know who she is, but she's spot on. If you have a woman who is grateful, keep her. Don't try to convince this next woman because she has whatever else she has that the other woman didn't. Don't do it.
Flows.
Don't.
It feels safe.
The number one trait of a good woman is she's naturally grateful. She's a grateful person. And this is where a lot of men get it wrong, is they attach to ungrateful women and entitled women. And the reason they attach to that is because there's an ego boost in trying to get the ungrateful woman to appreciate what you've done because you feel like you've actually earned something. It's an ego boost. Like if a woman is naturally grateful, you don't have to do a lot to impress her. But an ungrateful, entitled woman, you have to do more. So men end up investing more in the entitled woman because she takes more for her to crack a smile. When she's ungrateful, you'll keep trying. And firstly, you can never please an ungrateful person, so you're just wasted efforts. And eventually you'll start to think, why am I trying? I might as well be with somebody else.
And what sucks about that is the grateful woman gets neglected because she's grateful and you don't feel like you have to do as much for her. It's like, it's the exact opposite of how we should respond to a grateful woman versus an ungrateful woman. The grateful woman ends up losing out. And that's not fair. It kind of sucks. Grateful about anything. Grateful that you're there. Grateful at the meals that you're taking her out to get. Grateful that you're on the date. Grateful that you're on time. Grateful about anything. That trait, and really what we usually would equate that would be more as agreeable. I think that's more the word. But she's speaking about things and what you give her, because she was talking about the ego and not being able to please this other person. But grateful, I would it's very close in my mind to agreeable, who's just go with the flow. You're not trying to get something. There's no arguing. There's just peace. And guys love peace. But for whatever reason, guys will go for the girl like in the beginning who threw water on them, spit on them. Why? What are you doing? There are good women out there who are grateful, who are agreeable, who are peaceful, who don't want to fight. God, if you can find one of those, it's like a diamond. I'm lucky. I have a woman who does not like to fight. She's grateful. I'm grateful. That really, really, really works good. And yes, and this is true. That's the cat and mouse game. The entitled woman is for fun. You play the game and you try to show her that, yeah, okay, I'll do everything you want me to do, and then once he gets what he wants, boom, you're gone. It's a game. You won, and then you leave her alone. And she becomes more bitter and ends up being with women. I'm just kidding.
So I might as well do something else. But usually you're too
What's up,
scared to
beautiful
walk
one?
away, so you end up being unfaithful.
If you are trapped in pathological relationships and you see no way out of them, if someone who is sinking has their hands around your neck and is pulling you down, you're not obligated to drown with them. There's a rule too if you're a lifeguard. Some of you have had lifeguard training. How do you approach someone who's drowning and panicking in the water? Feet out, right, like this. It's like, I'll save you, but that doesn't mean you get to drown me while I'm doing it. And if it's you drown or both of us drown, it's you drown. And that's wisdom. That's
huge.
Not cruelty.
That is huge. Go right back. Yeah, Jordan Peterson. I really need him to get well soon, because he's that guy's a national.
If you are
even
trapped
even though he's Canadian. But listen to what he's saying, because this is huge. I saved this for last. This is the last thing I got for you guys today. But it's so important. So important.
If you are trapped in pathological relationships and you see no way out of them, if someone who is sinking has their hands around your neck and is pulling you down, you're not obligated to drown with them. There's a rule too if you're a lifeguard. Some of you have had lifeguard training. How do you approach someone who's drowning and panicking in the water? Feet out, right, like this. It's like, I'll save you, but that doesn't mean you get to drown me while I'm doing it. And if it's you drown or both of us drown, it's you drown. And that's wisdom. That's not cruelty.
You don't have to stay in those kinds of relationships. You don't have to save this person. Oh yeah, he's one of the great philosophers for sure. He's got some issues with faith, but the guy is a genius. A lot of us, men and women, will stay with somebody that we think we can help. And in a lot of cases we can. But when it gets to the point where there's any of the stuff that we just saw in my whole presentation, any kind of toxicity and any of that stuff, you got to go. You have to go. One of the people in the beginning said it, you can admire from a distance. But what you don't want to do is stay there and try to deal with stuff that you should not be dealing with. It's not for you. This is for a therapist. Have them go see this person and maybe come back and try again. But what you can't deal with is allowing people to treat you in ways that you haven't earned in a negative way. If you hit somebody, you earn that hit back. But what you don't want to do is have people in your life, in your circle around, whether it be your kids, your whatever, in your circle of life being toxic. It throws everything off. You cannot, I'll speak for men, women too, but for men specifically, we cannot have that in our lives, because you can't do your job as a man if you have chaos. We need peace. We can't go to work, do what we're supposed to do, and not want to come home, because coming home is where we're supposed to have that peace, that how do you know what you call it? I guess comfort, because it's already miserable enough going off to work and doing something, especially for most people. Most people don't like their jobs. The ones of us who really actually enjoy it, that's awesome. But that's not normal. Most people go do their job, do what they have to do, come home, and they want peace. Not that the other ones don't also, but there's some people who need peace. When you start hearing about people unaliving and all themselves and all that, that's a hard life. That means they're doing something they don't want, and when they come home, they're not getting what they need. And you can't have that. You can't have that. I agree. All men want is peace, respect, and quiet. Most men, good men. There are crazy men who want chaos, and that's so they don't have to deal with their issues. That's just what that is. Let me see. I thought I missed the comment. Oh, I thought I missed the comment. But that's all I have for today. I wanted to thank everybody who was in here. Thank you so much, Sheriff, for coming up and sharing your thoughts. You swayed my opinion on that lady. Maybe not her specifically, but I think about it a little bit differently now. I appreciate you all, Lou, Mike, nice. Thank you so much. Beautiful one. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Phoenix Rising, Sheriff Clara. Who else was in there? There was a lot of people in here today. Thank you all so much. That was awesome. Let me see. And hopefully no one was offended by some of the stuff I was saying. Jeffrey Isaac, thank you. KTC, thank you. I just tell you, look, when I see something that I think is BS, I'm like, yeah, all right. And hopefully I said something that can help you guys moving forward, because I've had a very successful marriage, been married forever. I have 3 older daughters. All of them are amazing, doing very, very well. 0 issues. 2 of them are married. One's on her way. I have a 6-year-old, about to be 7-year-old son, super smart. Got his head on straight. We just got a phone call from his teacher in the 1st grade saying how good he is and how smart he is, and how, you know, we should look into gifted programs, and he's very respectful. So we're doing something right. You know, you can't live in chaos and still have great results like that. I mean, I guess it's possible, but hopefully I can offer you guys something. And that's why I wanted to do this. Miss Just J was in here. I already said Miss Phoenix Rising, but if I didn't, Miss Phoenix Rising. True Essence was in here. John Thompson, thank you, sir. As always, John Thompson's the man. He's awesome. Simset was in here. Appreciate you. Uncle L, as always, another one. Huge supporter. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you so much. Wabbit Tube Clips, thank you, sir. Appreciate you as always. Tizzle was in here. Thank you, young lady. Appreciate you. Deja Vu was in here. Thank you, thank you. I think we're at the top. Miss Arabia was here. Thank you, young lady. Appreciate you too. Mel Dub, thank you, sir, as always. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me make sure I'm not ignoring anybody on the Cash App. Miss Beautiful One, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Next time, I will not fail you. I just need a little notice, because during this live, you can hear my son running around acting crazy. If I have him and my wife's at work or doing something, he's crazy. He won't let me get on a panel. He just won't. So I can sit in a chat and type all day because he's running around like a crazy person. But if I don't have any kind of notice, I don't want to be on somebody's panel and have this boy running in the room trying to show me something. I need somebody here. So if there's nobody here, I can't jump on a panel. I really, really wanted to. Definitely want to. I love the topic. It's important. Miss Beautiful One, if you didn't see yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? Yesterday she did a panel, or either the day before, on masculinity, and we need to have that conversation more. And yeah, Lou, dude, he's all over the place. It's amazing to watch. I wish I had some of that energy, dude. That boy is, and nobody's giving him any kind of meds. That's who he's supposed to be. He is a boy. He's supposed to have that. During this summer, side note, over the summer, he was in soccer. He played basketball. He had swimming. Oh, he didn't do basketball this summer, but he did swimming. We took him to Chicago to be with his cousins. We took him to Phoenix to be with Phoenix to be with his other cousins. I've yet to see anybody who can keep up with this kid. Like, they're all ready to go to sleep, and he's still the boy's crazy. He's amazing. He's beautiful. But yeah, thank you all so much, Beautiful One. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, like I said. And I will be, next time you do that, if you can give a little bit of notice, like tomorrow I'm going to be talking about family, fathers, masculinity, any of that kind of stuff. I will be there to just give my perspective. So, appreciate you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. That said, I'm O Speaks. Please like, subscribe, share, go back, watch a replay, share it with somebody else who will disagree or agree. It don't matter.